Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Live with the Times. Today we are going over the third Aliyah of Toldos. Thank you, Hashem. Grateful for all of you and grateful to be here. Great stuff today as well. Very cool story, esoteric stuff, I guess. But esoteric's great. Kabbalah is great. Hasidus is great. But how can we glean something that means something to us that we can bring out? Right, so today's Aliyah talks about now, as we left yesterday, right, that Yitzhak Avinu had gained a lot of money there in Gerar, and it happens that he kept growing exceedingly more and more, Gadel, and he kept growing in wealth, and it came to be that the people were getting jealous of him, and they're wondering, who is this guy? He's coming over here and he's taking all our wealth. Right, to sound familiar with the Jews going around, and people are saying, "Oh, what is this conspiracy of the Jews?" and blah blah blah. Listen, nothing new. There's nothing new over here, right? And so there's a very, very deep lesson here for on the national level and on a personal level here in this Aliyah, right? Because what happens here? Yitzhak is arguing, or his tenders of his flock are arguing with the people of the flock from Gerar and from these other places. And they go and they're arguing, and then there's a series, right, where Abraham had went and he had dug up wells, Maim Chaim, these well springs, and they'd gone covered. Right, so there's a series here with the Yitzhak. He goes and he uncovers these wells that Abraham had dug up. He goes and he digs up these wells, and then they're covered up. And he goes somewhere else and he digs up the wells, and they're covered up. And finally, the third time, and he goes and he digs up the wells, and he moved from there and he went to another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So we called this place Rehovot, saying, now at last, Hashem has granted us ample space, increase in the land. Wow. Right, so they went and they dug in another place. And there finally they didn't argue. So we call it Rechavois. Vayomer ki ata herchiv Hashem lanu ufarinu ba'aretz. Now finally we have a good place, a good land, where we can actually go and we can increase in the land. Wow. Look at this. And you're like, what is going on over here? What are they talking about? And Baruch Hashem, we have Hasidus, thank you Hashem, we have Rebbe Nachman, thank you Hashem, we have Zohar, thank you Hashem, we have Baal Shem Tov to come in to help us bring out over here. Because what is this really going on? A personal level. Yitzhak is Gevurah, obviously. And what happens? We come down here into this world to what? To reveal water, to reveal Torah. Torah is water. So we're going and we're trying to find this water, right? And what happens? The nations, the people of the world, and whatever may be, doubt, come and they come starting earth, putting earth back on top of the water, covering up the water. This is a natural programming built into the world where we have this amazing gift. But what happens? We have to go and dig for it. This is why it happened with Yitzhak Avinu, because Yitzhak was Gevurah. That person, when they want to learn Torah, they have to learn with a certain amount of Gevurah, a certain amount of no nonsense, that nothing's going to knock me off my place, right? And even though there before Avraham Avinu had dug it up, right? What was it? He's revealing these amazing Torah that Hashem is the world, Hashem is one, Hashem does everything. Hashem loves you and you and you and you, and you don't have to live like this pagan lifestyle. He doesn't want you to sacrifice your kids, right? He doesn't want you to put your kids in danger. And what do they say? They say, no, listen, okay, yes, God is one, but and then little by little they say, listen, God is one, but he's got different sephiras, right? So different sephiras control different planets, and the different planets are different, like articles of clothing. They're different midos. They're different, what do you call them? Character traits, right? So if I need a certain character trait at a certain time, I'm going to go to that certain character trait, and I'm going to search for that. And it just so happens that corresponds to this planet. So I'm going to go and talk to that planet. And little by little, you're seeing how little by little they are separating themselves from the oneness and creating all these separations. And they're dumping them on top of the Torah, right? And saying, okay, now we're going to worship Saturn. Now we're going to worship Uranus. Now we're going to worship Mars. For this, we worship this. For this, we worship this. For this, we worship the 10th planet. The different constellations, the different stars that correspond to our solar system. This is what they were worshiping, as opposed to Hashem Yitbarach, right? And what would happen? Yitzhak have to get to move him out and say, no, this is Hashem. Hashem is right here. Look, and you go and you're searching, you're bringing him out and doing it again and again, 3 times to be exact, until finally he says, wow, now we have ample land, right? And this is the same thing with us, right? That the Yetzer Hara and the nations are trying to get us distracted and trying to say, give us your kids. Give us your kids. You need money, don't you? Well, let us take care of your kids. Let us train your kids. Let us educate your kids so you can have time to go and do money, so you can go and work, and don't worry about it. We'll take care of all the things, right? And they are where they're doing their teaching, right? The people are really, it's a shame, right? We're putting our kids in jeopardy, spiritual jeopardy, aside from physical harm, really putting our kids' spiritual, mental, emotional well-being at stake here. And we have to continue to find the well springs of Torah to say, no, we're going to leave a good place for our kids. We have to grow and we have to learn, right? And specifically here, right, in the level of Gevur, like I said, with restraint and darkness and concealment, right? That this is from where Isaac strove to reveal that which was hidden, bring forth light concealed in the darkness, Rebbe Nachman saying, right? Specifically here in the darkness that Hashem is wanting us to come and to bring out the best in the world, the best in ourselves, the best in our children, the best in others. It's not just reject the world, but to elevate the world, specifically in the darkness that we wonder and we say, why aren't things just going so easy? Why am I working so hard on certain things and they still seem not to be going? Or I get out of one thing and another thing's coming at me. Specifically in this place that Hashem is desiring for us to find the goodness in him, to reveal the Torah, to reveal those well springs that have never been revealed before. And this is on a personal level, as I said, it's also on a national level, right? As I said, this is exactly what the people say about the Jews. Look at the Jews, they're coming over here and they're making money. They must have some shady thing going on, because everywhere they're going, they're just making money. The Little Hat Club, is, as people say on the comments and the message boards and all that fun stuff, a lot of tough guys. And unfortunately, we're seeing how these tough guys behind the keyboards are being emboldened, or emboldening people who are really, really bad people. Right? And we have already Yitzhak Kogan taken in the UAE. Neshama should have an Aliyah. Neshama should really, his memory should be a blessing for all of us. And we're seeing that it's really low stam. It's not simple, in the sense that we are going and trying to dig wells while people are throwing more and more dirt on us. We're seeing that it's really not so simple on a national level, on a personal level, on a national level. But what is it? Why is it specifically that it was 3 times that the Yitzhak Avinu was going and he was digging and it was being covered up and it was going back up? Obviously represents the Beis HaMikdash, right? The first Beis HaMikdash, right, going and building and being covered up. And then the second Beis HaMikdash going up and building. And what happened at the end? How was it that the third Beis HaMikdash was built? Because there's no quarrels. That the Yetzer Hara is looking for quarrels, right? The Yetzer Hara is looking for us to fight. And we have to fight. We have to defend ourselves. And at the same time, we have to find a way to not appease the nations, Chas v'Shalom, not to assimilate a Chas v'Shalom, but to rise up to be who we are, to rise up to be the Jews that we're meant to be, and not to be the, obviously not the scared Jews, right, but also not the fighting instigators as well, right, to be somebody that is inspiring and elevating the entire world around us. Such an incredible gift that Jews have, to be the light bearers to the world. I have a friend a very close friend who's not a Jewish guy. And he said something he was here in Eretz Israel, guy who's, whatever, he's seen the world, he's went and traveled and been to all kinds of spiritual environments, not here, not there, but almost everywhere. He's been a part of all kinds of different kinds of spiritual practices and rituals. And he's saying, I finally get it why people hate the Jews. I'm thinking, what is this guy going to say over here? So he's talking about Kabbalat Shabbat over here, part of his Chana, thank God. Saying that was like the most beautiful service I've ever seen in my life. Never seen some people so genuinely happy. Never seen so many people genuinely singing and dancing, not like trying to get into it and, pretending or, it was people who were on their own, just so freaking happy, so happy. And he said, it's amazing, and the reason why the world hates the Jews is because the Jews are the light bearers. They were created to guard the light. Not Jews, non-Jewish guys saying these things. Right? They were created to guard the light. And what are you doing? So many Jews don't even know it. And they're just wasting their time. And then the ones who are doing it, they're keeping it to themselves. They're not sharing it with other Jews and not sharing it with non-Jews. He said, this is why people are mad at the Jews, because they need light. And they see you have light and you're keeping it to yourself. And this is also the nations, right? When they're going and we're digging up our well springs, right? The well springs, meaning that the Mayim Chaim, meaning coming up from the Mayanot, coming up from the depths. What are we doing with it? Drinking it or keeping it with ourselves? Right? We have to open it up so that everybody can come and they can take. And of course, it's holy, so it has to be separated and has to be done in a proper way. It has to be done with das. And but to think that we are going to shake our finger at people and tell them to stop being anti-Semites, and this is going to make them stop being anti-Semites, beat them into submission with a stick. No one ever made tshuva with a stick, not a Jew and not a non-Jew. And that definitely doesn't work in today's generation. So if it ever did work in the past, it's definitely not working now. You get more bees with honey than with vinegar, as we say. And so the time is entering now, the time of the third Beis HaMikdash, where we will have a third set of well springs, right, to build another where. Vayafpo be'er acheres lo ravu aleha vayikra shema v'chavois v'lo revu aleha. That we're not going to be arguing over this whole thing. And in this way, we're going to see true peace, true elevation, true space in the Holy Land, where the whole Holy Land is open for everybody. Of course, the Jews, but meaning that it's open here, meaning there's enough space, meaning that in the Beis HaMikdash, that it said one of the miracles of the Beis HaMikdash is that it seemed like it was crowded, and that when it came for everybody to bow, there's enough room for everybody to get down and to bow. The same thing here, right? There's enough room for all the Jews to come over here, and enough room for all holy people who want to come to be here. And we should see a world where there is no more fighting, where people don't want to kill Jews. There's no more anti-Semitism, where we're able to share the light freely in a holy way, in a revealed way, in a way that is blessed by Hashem Yitbarach, given over by Hashem Yitbarach for all the worlds to have true Shalom, the entire world, with this third set of wells that will be dug here, that are being dug now here in the land and around the world, with every single person who's learning Torah, to never give up on learning Torah, no matter what the darkness is, no matter what the dirt that's being thrown on, to keep learning Torah and to learn it and to reveal it in the best way so that we can have Moshiach Tzidkenu here in the Beis HaMikdash Shlishi, B'mher B'yameinu, B'emet Akshav, right now. Thank you so much.